Now, in the last word problem in this section, we're asked to give an example of a linear equation that has no solution, one that has infinitely many solutions, just those two. We're not asked to give one that has exactly one solution. So what I would suggest in this, obviously you can look back at your notes in this section and find an equation that had no solution and find another one that had infinitely many solutions. But if you were being asked this on a test and you didn't have that information to look back at, what might you do? Well, we know that an equation that has no solution ends up having some number equal to another number. So let's just say we start with 4 is equal to 6. So we know that's how we should end up. And let's kind of walk ourselves backwards from this. What might happen? Remember that the last thing we do is that we're going to subtract the same thing from both sides. So it doesn't matter what we put in. Let's say we put in 3x plus 4 is equal to 3x plus 6. So here, if we subtracted 3x from both sides, we would have ended up with, so if we subtract 3x on both sides, subtract 3x on both sides, we would have ended up with 4 equals 6, which has no solutions. So maybe a good place to start with this is some variable quantity that is the same on both sides. And then we're going to add different things to that. So plus 4 and plus 6. So this is a simple example of an equation that has no solutions to it. All right, let's do something similar for an equation that has infinitely many solutions. Well, an infinitely many solutions might be a lot easier because we're just going to have the same thing on both sides of the equal sign. Now, we might not start off with exactly the same thing. So what I'm going to do is we'll go on to the left side, and that might say 4x plus 6. And on the left side, instead, what I'll do is I will factor out a 2. And if you notice, that's really 4x plus 6 is really 2x plus 3 plus 2x plus 3, or 2 times 2x plus 3. And so if we were to multiply this out, then we would get 2 times 2x plus 3 is equal to 4x plus 6. And we would get 4x plus 6 equals 4x plus 6. That's the telltale sign that there are infinitely many solutions. All right. And starting off with the equation 2 times 2x plus 3 equals 4x plus 6. Something like that. All right, so that's going to do it for this problem and for this section. Important things to pay attention to in this section are the distance or motion problems, and then also the problems where we have two different things that are set equal to each other. We saw this with the internet charges, the internet fees, and we also saw this in the previous example with enrollments in French and Spanish classes. So those are the types of problems to really pay attention to in this section.